Hey guys, thank you for tuning into my YouTube channel. This is Corey with the LG channel. Today I'm going to talk about some personal development type of area. But if before I get into that, if you haven't yet, please subscribe to my videos and my channel. The LG channel, Life is Good. I'm new to YouTube and I'm trying to build my subscriber base, and basically I'm going to put out videos like this to help you guys overcome some fears and other obstacles in your life to better yourselves and position yourselves to have a better quality of life, right? Okay, that's basically what LG is about. Life is good, life is good. So this video, I've been talked about this, I think, in my introduction or another video. I'm not too sure exactly which one, but I talked about imposter syndrome, right? So the title of this video is Cure Impostor Syndrome, Go from a Fraud to You by Removing the I Can't roadblocks in your life. Well, so here's the thing. What is imposter syndrome? I always do my videos with like 3 parts, okay? So what is imposter syndrome? How can you cure imposter syndrome? And how have I acknowledged and adopted to this phenom? Okay, so that's the 3 parts I'm going to break this video up into. So if you're interested, please continue to listen, and I really do appreciate it. Leave your comments for some feedback below, and hopefully you find this video interesting. But what is imposter syndrome? Also known as the imposter phenomenon, or fraud syndrome, or the imposter experience. Okay, it's a concept describing high-achieving individuals who are marked by an inability to internalize their accomplishments and persistent fear of being exposed as a fraud. Now, you can Google this, it's from Wikipedia, but it's basically like you have this fear of being exposed as a fraud or a fake. Like maybe you're walking around with this attitude like I'm not confident enough. I'm really, like, maybe you think you're good, but you don't know you're good, right? Like, you think that you'll get exposed. An example, this might be like, you want to get a new job. You think you have, actually you do have the skills, right? You are a high achiever, you have those skills, but you don't think you do, right? So you're stuck. You're perpetually stuck because you're basically like telling yourself in your mind that you can't do this because you don't have the skills. They aren't good enough. They aren't sharp enough. They aren't refined enough. They're not just the right type of skill, like, this is basically what imposter syndrome is, right? You have the inability to internalize your own accomplishments, okay? So things that are seriously great that you've done, you are not going to give yourself credit for. Maybe people disguise this as being humble, or just being quiet, or some other things. But there's actually it can be considered a phenomenon or a syndrome, which I'm not going to go as far as to say a disease, but I when we talk about myself, maybe, because it's a syndrome, right? Like autism can be a syndrome, right? Or epilepsy is a syndrome, okay? That's the thing with imposter syndrome. It's a syndrome, okay? So a fear that you are being an imposter of somebody that you're not, okay? This is overcoming this, guys, is huge, okay? Overcoming this. And I don't know. Okay, so the second part of my video, how can you cure imposter syndrome? I don't know if you can actually ever really fully cure imposter syndrome. Can you cure a syndrome? I don't know. Google that and get back to me. Look it up on YouTube. Can you cure a syndrome? I don't know that you can, but guess what? You can manage it, right? You can manage your life knowing that this might be something that actually affects you too, right? So knowing that you can't cure it, right? What are you gonna do? Well, it's simple. I'll jump into what I've done and how I've acknowledged and adopted to the phenom, right? Basically, first of all, you need to understand what imposter syndrome is, which I just told you. So good. You understand what that is. You understand it's for people who, it's a syndrome and honestly, people, you are all high achievers, right? You're all great at something. Go back to that thing that you're great at, and like, could you go to the Olympics with it? Probably you've said no to yourself because of imposter syndrome, right? You've said that there's somebody better. You know it. Like, for whatever reason, imposter syndrome and what comes along with it has been a block to you actually breaking down the mental barrier, accomplishing the physical and mental things that need to actually be accomplished to be superior and best of class and creme de la creme and the top dog, number one, okay? The number one person. That is what you want to achieve by breaking down imposter syndrome. You want to be the best of the best, okay? You don't want to be in a group of greats. You want to be the greatest by breaking down these barriers. And it's not easy, okay? This is like high mental, acute functionality with the brain, both left and right side, because you need to be creative with this as much as you need to be logical and smart about it, okay? So what have I done? I've challenged myself basically, and I've set goals that I know damn well I will fail, okay? I know damn well I'm going to fail at it. I said this is a ridiculous goal, right? But the thing is, I don't fail at it. Eventually, I do reach it. It's crazy. Like, set that fucking ridiculous goal, people. I mean, I'm not saying I want to be president because that's actually not one of my goals. But if you set that fucking ridiculous goal, maybe you'll actually achieve it, right? People have, okay? Look at modern history. Look at recent and past history. Like, the plethora of types of presidents and leaders and bests of best and greats of great. Focus on what you want to be the greatest at, right? I want to be the greatest at motivating people. I want to reach the most people. I want to motivate the broadest group of people. I want you to break down your imposter syndrome and analyze it and know, okay? And this is what I've done. I've used the skills and tools of practice, repetition, goal setting. If you haven't checked out my video on goals and how to set goals, goal setting. Okay? That's what it says. Like I said, I set a ridiculous goal. This is how I've done it and failed initially. But eventually you will, if you practice repetition and you expand your knowledge, persistence, probability, okay? Testing and analyzing and rethinking and reapproaching. Like, don't just do one thing and then stop. Always be continually improving, right? These are all the tools that I've bundled up to cure this syndrome, which is something that it's ridiculous if you cure this. Dude, you guys, I need to make a video on what my life was like 7 years ago, 8 years ago, probably. I had like 12 grand in the bank, I think. And that was it, okay? Now I'm a millionaire, okay? In 7 years, you can change your life that drastically from nothing to everything, okay? Okay, I had a little more than 12 grand probably because I probably had a little more than 12 grand, but that's an exaggeration a little bit, but seriously, because I've understood and realized and broken this down, I've owned real estate sooner than people my age. I've had better credit sooner than people my age. I've actually cared. Like, I've been very fucking competitive in every aspect of my life. If you ask people, they're going to be like, man, why do you want to be the top, best, fastest, first? Like, that's how I approach it. Like, I want to do things better. And not necessarily to be, smug or smitten or like, hey, I'm better than everybody. That's not why. It's for personal fulfillment, okay? That's it. If that's not your reasoning behind it and being the best you can be for yourself, you will never achieve the greatness that you and the shoes that you want to walk in. You will never walk in those shoes because you're doing it for the wrong reason. Is basically, you have to do this for the right reason, right? Which is to fulfill your internal mind, body, and soul and spirit, basically. Okay. So I'm sort of living with this disease, right? Like, how have I cured this? I own 4 businesses right now, guys. Not because I want to own more businesses than anybody, but like, I want to help people, like, and I want to help people, and this businesses are a vessel to help many people. Sure, they're paying me for their help, but that doesn't matter. Like, I'm still fulfilling and accomplishing the things I want. And I've built this stuff up because I wanted to be great, right? It started out as one thing in my garage, just like these YouTube videos, and it's been built up gradually to the point where it's great. It's not shit, okay? It's great. I've polished the shit, and it's shiny, and it's sellable, and put a stamp on that, approve it. I've tested it, I've retested it, it's working, right? This is what my workouts, they're intense, okay? They're very intense. I push myself every day. I'm not gonna kill myself, but it feels like I'm going to. Like, when I'm done, sometimes I hit the shower, I can barely walk, I can barely stand, I'm worried I'm actually gonna physically fall over, debating people, understanding their viewpoints. Debate is not an argument, okay? There's a difference between a debate and an argument. If you want to argue with me, leave a comment and I'll argue. If you want to debate with me, leave a comment and I'll debate with you, right? You'll see the difference quickly between an argument and a debate. When you're debating with folks, you understand perspectives that you sort of put yourself in a view or a perspective or somebody else's shoes that you might otherwise have not done, okay? So you've seen through their lens the way that they're thinking about things, and you'll be shocked and surprised at the ways that the people think differently. Like, this is something you need to accept, and this is something you need to adapt to and be agile about, right? That's another skill or tool, that, like, this is how I approach my day. Every fucking day I wake up, I'm like, boom, I'm gonna wake up hard. I'm not gonna lie, like, some days I sleep in, of course, who doesn't? But I hit my day hard, and I know what I'm gonna do. I know what I'm gonna accomplish. And then when I accomplish this stuff, I'm constantly churning to accomplish more. So I'm setting new stakes in the ground and new milestones and hitting those. And just, that's how you build up to greatness. You take small baby steps, and then eventually you are running. You've got a stride. And before you know it, you look back, and there's people that you're gaining distance, and they're way behind you. And eventually, when you look back, you realize you're in a class of your own, right? That is when you've cured your imposter syndrome. That is it, guys. When you're the leader of the race, the leader of the pack, and there's nobody back there behind you, and you've lapped people, right? That's what you've achieved greatness, which is what we're going for here with Life is Good. We've achieved the greatness, right? So do some more research. Again, I'm gonna tout my one more video. Don't take my advice. I'll say that on these like sort of philosophical videos, because you shouldn't really just trust some dude on the internet who's wearing a bright neon yellow shirt, right? What do I know? No, seriously though, I know a little bit, okay? I've watched Cheryl Handberg deliver an imposter syndrome presentation, and it was great. If you don't know who Cheryl is, she's a very strong female leader in tech. She's created an organization called leanin.org. You can look that up. But this is really originally where I decided to tackle imposter syndrome, was when she gave a talk on it, a TED Talk, and you can check that out. It's on YouTube, I'm sure, to hear more about that, because it's something that's really important. Obviously, if she's talked about it and done a TED Talk on it, what do I know? Don't listen to me, listen to her then. And if you don't want to listen to her, Google and YouTube other people that have overcome this, or at least identified it, right? And I think identifying it is actually sometimes the hardest part of actually overcoming it. Because once you identify it, you can work on what you want to work on, right? If you're like, worried that you're going to be the best, you're not the best triathlete in my state. I know it's my brother-in-law. Like, We breed in my family just greatness. Like, if you want to be the best triathlete and beat him, then you need to figure out what you need to do to beat him, right? Or maybe you want to be the best triathlete in your state, or the fastest swimmer, or whatever, the best speller. I don't know, anything. Put your mind to it. Whatever it is, you, like the core of you. And if you don't know, then revisit your childhood. Pull out some photos, literally some old black and whites and colors, the ones that we printed out with Kodak. Pull those out and look at the things that you did as a child, and look at the things that lit up a smile on your face, and you'll see, do those activities and become great at those again, and you'll realize your potential, you'll realize your greatness. I totally went over my 15 minutes, guys. I hope you enjoyed this imposter syndrome video. Hopefully you can, again, go from being a fraud to you, right? Remove those blocks to overcome imposter syndrome and be you, right? Be you, baby. Life is good, guys. Thank you again. It's Corey, the latest and greatest YouTube personality. Thanks for checking out my channel. If you haven't yet, subscribe below. Hit the bell to get notified of instant times I cut and drop videos and publish them. You'll get great videos like this, and health and wellness, and IT, and other videos that are inspiring. I'm just trying to reach a whole bunch of people. So bear with me, guys. If you didn't like the video, let me know how I can do better. Comment, leave me a message. I will try and adapt, right? That's what we're here to do. Nobody's perfect, but we can work together to get there, right? We can achieve greatness together. So thank you for tuning in, guys, and have a great day.